Well, howdy doody, ladies and gentlemen. We got a new price target for Tesla stock from a famed short seller. Don't know his name and don't care. But we got to talk about Tesla. Where is Tesla stock going? Welcome back to Strongman Personal Finance. So I checked the stock price today. And of course, after a disastrous delivery number, we don't have the earnings yet, but they're coming out pretty soon and it's going to be fun to see it. But after a disastrous, utterly just abysmal set of delivery numbers, Tesla stock went down a little bit and now it's back up today. I think it's trading at like 170. Tesla is still trading at, I believe, a $500-600 billion market capitalization. And it's still valued as the most valuable car company in the world. Not Toyota, not Ford, nothing. Tesla. It's all Tesla, right? Now, why is Tesla up? Why is Tesla not crashed to $14 like this new guy's price target is? There is a cult-like massive euphoria that underpins this stock, number one. And number two, there are still enough people in the market that believe the lies, the misrepresentations, and the utter degeneracy of Elon Musk to keep the stock price where it's at. A $500-600 billion market capitalization for a company that has zero growth? Interesting, okay? But people still believe that FSD is going to be a thing. It's going to bring in hyper profits. All the other pet projects that Elon Musk has, they believe him. They see in the future that while Tesla's having a bad time now, the future is going to be pure EV. I don't believe that for a second, number one. And Tesla's the only profitable, quote-unquote, EV company, even though there's more out there. And FSD is going to make them a bunch of money. That's the bull thesis. So with these clowns, they're looking at the short term and they're saying, oh, Tesla had a massive miss in deliveries. Whatever. Doesn't matter. That's short term, bro. But we got a new price target of $14 by the short seller. Like I said, I don't know his name. I don't care. But it's been making the rounds on the internet. And I want to tell you that Tesla 100% could go to that price, but I don't think it will because there is such an insane clownish following with this stock. Now, how can Tesla get to that price? Well, if you look at other car companies, which Tesla's a car company, I know you like idiotic, demented, just freakish loser. Is it autism? I don't know. I don't know what it is, but something's off with a lot of you Tesla investors. Like you're not right in the head. Your obsession with Elon is just sick. But if you look at other car companies, you look at their valuations, they're not highly valued. They're not assigned high multiples of whatever by the market. You look at book value. I was looking at Ford and Toyota. They trade between 1 and 2 times book value. Remember, book value is the total value of the assets minus the liabilities on the company's balance sheet. And remember, a balance sheet, generally stuff is recorded at cost. So the true value of some assets may not be represented 100%, but that's another story. That's another lesson for another time. But basically, most car companies trade around book value. Book value, 1 to 2 times book value. So if you have the assets minus the liabilities, you're basically buying the assets roughly a little bit more than, you're paying a little bit more than what the underlying assets of the company are worth. That's book value. That's the main car companies, Ford, Toyota. What is Tesla trading at? I think 8.5 times book value. What does that imply? Just because it's trading at a high price to books doesn't mean it's a bad buy. What that implies is that if you buy the company, you're basically buying the assets, all the assets minus the liabilities of the company. And then on top of that, you're expecting insane future cash flow and profits to compensate you for the high price you're paying for the company's assets now. Same thing with the Ford PE. The Ford PE of Tesla is 55. And I have a sinking suspicion that the Ford PE is going to be a lot higher because I think their earnings are going to be garbage or even negative. But the multiples and the valuation of Tesla is still absolutely insane. And it's all based on the belief in Elon Musk, the fanatical, autistic belief in Elon Musk. What if that belief starts to go away? What if people see Tesla as a car company? which it is, oh, by the way, what would happen to the multiple of Tesla? Would it trade at 55 forward earnings? Would it trade at 8.5 times book value when comparable car companies, which I think have higher margins now, by the way? Oh, it's so beautiful. Are trading at 1 to 2 times book value with a forward PE of what, 10? What do you think is going to happen? What could happen? Well, if that happens to Tesla, it could definitely trade around book value, which I think is about $20 per share. I think I did some rough napkin math. I could be wrong, but roughly $20 per share. And that would be 100% reasonable, because on top of trading at book value, what if Tesla starts to become unprofitable? Well, if you buy a company at book value, but it's losing money, you're not really getting a good deal unless you liquidate the company at that point and you literally just collect what you bought. And Tesla could easily become unprofitable. And here's how. I think they have in my opinion, I think they've overinvested in fixed assets. I think they have overinvested in gigafactories. They have poured billions and billions and billions into these gigafactories on the expectation that they would have vertical line demand. And now that you're seeing these massive decreases in demand and sales prices, of the cars, they're having issues covering their fixed costs. Because remember, with the manufacturing, at least for the accounting of manufacturing, the costs of the plant they're not expensed in the period. They're allocated to the inventory. Think about if you paid $1 million a month for a factory and you made one car. Well, that $1 million gets allocated to the car. That's the cost of making the car, because obviously the cost of the plant is factored into the price of the car. So if your production is amazing, you can split that $1 million over a ton of cars. Let's say you make 1 million cars. Well, that fixed cost gets allocated $1 per car. But what if you only make 10 cars? Well, that's $100,000 of cost per car. So you can see that you can really have expensive, high-cost inventory if you're not producing at scale, economies of scale. And that's the issue I potentially see with Tesla, which could really hurt their margins in the future, or even make them go negative. And in an extreme scenario, I'm not saying it's going to get there, but in an extreme scenario, they could be so overinvested in factories and have so little demand that they might even have negative gross margins. I mean, it's possible, okay? It's it's a possibility. That's how you get negative gross margins. And that's what I think could potentially happen to Tesla. And if we get to that point where they're losing money, their margins massively shrink because of overinvestment in fixed assets, yes, the stock could easily go to $14. Easily. And it could even go bust. It's possible. Anything is possible. When you see such a massive destruction of demand, and you see what Tesla's done, it's basically hit a brick wall. Just like I predicted. I'm patting myself on the back for this one. Things can get really ugly. So it is entirely possible that Tesla can go to $14. Now, a lot of you clowns, like, you're relative dip buyers. So if a stock goes up in a vertical line 20,000%, but then it dips 10%, you think it's cheap because it dipped, but it's still up 10,000%. You know, it's all relative. But even like crazy scenarios like $14 are a possibility. I don't think it's going to happen because there's so many, idiots, and it's autism. I mean, I'm just going to have to say it. There's so many autistic idiots out there that are like have this like weird obsession with this stock because they're probably not clapping cheeks, that I don't think it's going to get that low just because of the clowns. But in a more logical world, yeah, it's possible. Talk to you later. Cheers.